when Magnus crushed Hikaru Nakamura. This event is the global championship for Blitz chess, and it features some of the top players in the world competing for the title of Blitz Champion. Magnus Carlsen is the current world champion and has easily won the previous 2 Blitz championships. He has also held the title of world champion. Hikaru Nakamura, on the other hand, is a formidable opponent who has been making his way up the rankings and triumphing over everyone with his extraordinary speed and lethal precision. Hikaru had become an increasingly serious threat to Magnus's throne. Following his victory against Ralph Mammadov and his achievement of a score of 16.5 to equal Magnus for first place, it was time for the championship match. Both players were aware that in order to become the Blitz World Champion, they needed to come out on top. Magnus begins the game by moving his pawn to d4, which is immediately followed by Hikaru's move of a knight to f6. After that, Magnus plays knight f3, and Hikaru contemplates his options for a moment before deciding to play d5. The players begin the game by building their beginning pieces, and then play moves on to the London system. Because Magnus already has an active bishop at great center, Hikaru moves his bishop to the 6th position on the board, d6. After making the decision to swap bishops, Magnus quickly follows it up by trading down the DNC's pawns. Magnus has a significant advantage due to the fact that the majority of their previous endgames have been won by Magnus. This nightmare is kicked off by Magnus playing rook c1 and doing an X-ray examination on Hikaru's queen. This causes Hikaru to pause and consider his options before returning his queen to a secure location. Then, Magnus places his king and rook in a castle, and Hikaru responds by moving his pawn to b6 a few moves later when the game has progressed a little further. Hikaru grudgingly accepts Magnus' proposal to exchange another bishop despite his pledge to do so. After that, Magnus moves his knight e5 towards the center of the board, and Hikaru attempts to defend against it by deploying her knight d7. Magnus, however, has other things in mind. He plays queen f3 and then makes an offer to exchange queens with Hikaru, since it is impossible for Hikaru to capture the knight here without giving up his queen. In order to get out of the queen bargain, Hikaru sends his queen away. Even while Hikaru is undeniably the more quick-footed player, his time is running out far more quickly than it normally would. Magnus advances his knight to position c6, putting the king of Hikaru in check with his menace. Hikaru is about to go away once again, and once she does, the real fun will begin. Magnus takes his knight to c4, well aware that he has to make his move as soon as possible if he is to emerge victorious from this encounter. Because of this, Hikaru is able to take a free pawn, which he does so rather grudgingly despite the fact that taking free pawns might be advantageous. Taking Magnus's free pawn might put you in a precarious situation. Magnus moves his piece to g5, indicating that he intends to assault Hikaru's knight on f6. In response, Hikaru moves his second knight to position c5, releasing a square that may be used by his assault knight to escape. Magnus brings another assault to the center while maintaining his focus on the f7 square by moving his knight to the d6 square. It is at this point that Hikaru begins to lose control of the game, despite the fact that the greatest move he could have made would have been to take another pawn with his queen when it was on b2. Hikaru launches his assault by silently ending all of his opponent's chances of victory by shifting his knight to position b3. Magnus defends his rook by moving it to position c2, where it is no longer vulnerable to assault from Hikaru. Once again, Hikaru committed a catastrophic error by shifting his queen to position a4, which is a4. Magnus launched an assault on Hikaru's queen when he placed his rook to position c4 on the board. After that, Magnus dealt the finishing blow by advancing his piece to position g5, where it assaulted Hikaru's king. Following the next move made by Hikaru, Magnus's pieces will be in a position to harass Hikaru's king. Hikaru began shaking his head as soon as he understood what a dreadful error he had made. Hikaru decides to withdraw, which results in Magnus Carlsen winning for the 3rd game in a row, Blitz's reigning champion of the world. There you have it. What do you think about today's video? Share your opinion. Do let us know in the comment section below so we can continue the conversation. And if you liked today's video, give us a thumbs up. And do not forget to hit the subscribe. Share this video with your friends, colleagues, and family members. And press the bell icon for more upcoming videos. We'll see you next time with a newer video. Stay tuned. Take care.